Welcome to episode 4 of the Just Cover podcast. We're really excited to hear about advisor news and views and opinions on how they see the intermediary arena going forward. My name's Wayne Holcomb.
And I'm Hazel Johnston, and today we are joined by Adrian Benjamin. So welcome back, Adrian. Thank you for coming back in to see us.
Thank you for letting me come back, and well done on the new operation. Looks very professional and good. Very excited to be here.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, you'll notice a big difference from last time when we filmed it on my phone for that very first episode.
Yeah, but now it looks really good, really good.
Good. No, well, we're really excited to have you back. So obviously when you were in last time, you mentioned you were hoping to try and enter into that kind of business protection arena and really move from just offering personal protection into business. So I think it will be really great to hear some of your views and insights as to how that's gone for you, but also for you to just share any of the challenges that you've faced as well.
Yeah, so the business space which I'm moving into now is a little bit different, but I think from my career before I did, insurance has really helped me. So I was saying to Wayne before, I used to work for Royal Bank of Scotland, so I'm used to dealing with SMEs or large corporates, so that's really helped me. A lot of the roles I've done when I was contracting was regards to risk or the Financial Conduct Authority, so again, all links in with insurance. So for me, it's been an easy transition. The products that I feel limited company directors are really looking for are relevant life is a big one. If anyone's new into business protection, that's kind of an easy way to get into it, whereby the company pays for the policy and it's allowable business expense. So it's the same as doing normal life insurance, it's just through the business. Executive income protection. So some of my clients have worded it private sick pay. Again, that's paid by the business, that's really good. One of my clients calls it entrepreneur relief. So just from the short time I've been in insurance, I found a lot of self-employed people or company owners have a lot of stress. It's quite common. And if someone was to have time off sick, having income protection is going to help them. And then with them not be worrying about the bills, they can actually focus on getting better, where there's a lot of people treading water where they shouldn't really be working, but they feel they have to. So executive IP has been a really big one for me as well.
Great. Oh, I'm really pleased to hear it's going well for you and you're engaging those business owners. In terms of we do obviously research as well, called State of the Nation research, and we find that as well, business owners are really, really busy. Did you find it easy to find these business owners in amongst your own pipeline, or how did you track them?
Yeah, good question. It's kind of a mix. Some of my clients were business owners anyway. So I was doing a lot of relevant life last year when I first started. It's just trying to expand the product suite as well. So it's going on the CPD with Legal & General and Stewart has really helped me as well. But yeah, it's just been, like I said, a natural progression really. The products aren't as complicated, I think, as people think. I think it might be a misconception that business is going to be this whole different beast. It's really not. The fundamentals are exactly the same. Trying to help the client, make sure it's right for them, make sure they understand it, and make sure it's affordable. So I wouldn't say it's a big change, really.
It's brilliant you've got into it. And how did you get the confidence to actually push yourself into actually doing it?
I think, like I said before, with the jobs I've had before, so I did investment banking in 2009. So I was 22 when I was in New York, so kind of mid-crash. That's a high pressurized job. You know, I'm literally fresh out of uni, and I'm moving billions of dollars every day, deadlines, things like that. So I've had that my whole career. It's just a different element of it. Royal Bank of Scotland, when I worked in the invoice finance division, that's helping clients with cash flow issues and understanding that, and working in the credit department, which is similar to compliance. And with the bank, a lot of the directors would have personal guarantees. So now I'm doing business protection. When you protect the debt, I'll just say, have you got a personal guarantee in residential mortgage? And most people will say yes. And I'll say, well, you need to protect that through the business. So again, I think my career before insurance has really helped me a lot. And then when I came back to the UK, I've worked for HSBC. So because of the last financial crash, the FCA says we need to separate the investment bank from the retail bank. So my job was to be a consultant to create the new ring-fence bank based in Birmingham, which is now HSBC UK. So when you're ringing CEOs globally and you're telling them all your bank sort codes accounts are going to change and you've got deadlines, that's a lot of pressure. So being on that project, I think that's the biggest project in HSBC history. and being one of the top advisors on that project, that's given me the confidence. So it's kind of funny that the 15 years I've been in finance, everything kind of amounted to last year, and that's why I think I've grown so quickly. But dealing with clients, solving issues, and having risk, I've been doing that my whole career. So I feel it's a natural transition into business protection.
It sounds as if you have to build that credibility quite quickly with the experience and knowledge that you've got. How did you source the initial business clients? Is it generally from your back book, particularly, or other ways?
Usual methods. So it could be going to a networking event. Social media helps a lot. So when I was on your podcast before, that's helped. Sam Oakes, been on his podcast, that's helped. Winning awards, that helps for credibility. Referrals, I think, as well. Sometimes people think social media, you can get everything from that, and that can happen. And with some advisors, it does take a lot of time. But the traditional way, if I do a good job, I'm going to get a referral. So again, the traditional methods really won't change, basically.
And do you find clients pretty receptive then? Because there could be a perception that they might not be for people that haven't done business protection before.
I think they are open-minded, because I always say to clients, like, why are you doing whatever you're doing? And then they'll tell me why. And everything leads back to, I'm doing it for my family. I want the best for them. And obviously this is what these products do. So again, I feel kind of fortunate when I have come into insurance. I didn't have those preconceived ideas of rejection, things like that. It's just making sure the client understands it. And especially with business clients as well, they have a million things to do, but you've set up by yourself to provide for your family. These products are going to help you with that, and it's an allowable business expense as well. So that's going to help the profitability of the company and the efficiency of it.
It's really interesting because you mentioned as well, corporate debt. And again, when we looked at our research, I think 3/4 of business owners do have some form of debt. So I think it's great to hear you've got that belief in the product. Well, if they've got a mortgage that they need to protect, then actually, if they've also got business debt, then they've got to do the same thing. It's the same. I like how you're likening the principles, that actually you're just doing the right thing for that person and what they need for going forward.
Yeah, and I think it's awareness. I think we all know. I used to work for NatWest, I think when I was 21, when I just finished my first year in industry. Obviously, retail banks, there's hardly any of them now, which we all know about. So before you go into the branch and your bank manager would help you with everything, do this, go see the IFA, that's not there anymore. So you've got especially younger people that are setting up businesses, they don't know any different. So they're not going to be aware of these products. So that's why I do a lot of social media where I'm not selling, I'm just explaining what this product does. And then when people understand it, like, okay, actually, I am self-employed, I'm a limited company director, this product is going to help me. And then the clients will message me that way. So again, it's an awareness. And again, I'm feeling that need because there's less retail banks accessible to people.
I saw that the other day. Really, really good snippet. I think it was quite a short video you put on around business protection and stuff. What's the engagement been like from that?
Really positive, really positive. I've got people from all over the UK. I had someone message me on Instagram from Angola. He works on an oil rig as well, not business, but just to show people that you can get people from literally, it's not just the UK, it's this big wide world out there. So it has been helpful.
Yeah, good. And why was it that you decided to move into business protection now? Obviously, you've been in protection for a little while, but what was it that made you think, right, now's the right time for me to start looking at this?
Confidence of that I feel I know the products inside out. And two, I've been doing this my whole career. It's just I didn't want to start in business because I didn't really know the difference between the products or the providers. Now I've got that experience and that confidence. It's just, for me, it was just a natural transition. And I think when you mentioned credibility, when I used to contract in the city, I was a limited company director. So everything I'm saying to them, like, I've done it. I know how you feel. You're tired. Self-assessments due end of this month. I've done mine. Like, they understand it. Like, they get it. And obviously my corporate background as well, that helps quite a lot as well. So yeah, it's just been a natural transition, really.
So if someone's not from that corporate background, are there any hints and tips you'd give them to, or things that they should consider learning about to get them into a place of confidence?
Yeah, do as much CPD as possible with all the providers. Speak to your BDMs. They're there to help you. And then, yeah, once you've got a client, if you need help, maybe your manager might want to be on the call with you, or maybe a BDM, and build it up slowly until you feel confident. But yeah, CPD is so important, not just business, but anything. CPD is really important.
Did you dip your toe in the water, like RLP, for example, and then move into business protection from there on?
A little bit, yeah. Like I said before, the main products I'm dealing with at the minute are relevant life, executive income protection. You guys don't do it, but private medical is a big one as well. I don't need to say anything with that. People come to me now, so I want private medical. I'm like, okay, that's great. Shelter protection is a big one as well. So shelter protection, if, for example, you've got a company with 2 directors, if one director was to unfortunately pass away, the shares on death will go to their spouse. That spouse can now come into the business and make business decisions because they own 50% of it. So with shelter protection, you're making a policy where the surviving director can buy the shares off that spouse and retain 100% ownership of the business. That is something that I didn't know until I worked in this arena. And I'm just thinking, working in the bank, everyone needs this
scary
product.
How many people don't know about that. I speak to some of my friends who are business owners, and they've got. It was my cousin actually I was speaking to the other day, who's a shareholder in a business, and she wasn't aware of these products either. And actually, when you speak to the business owners and talk about the risk, especially those that have got valuable businesses, where does that money come from if they don't have it insured?
Yeah. Again, like I said, I fell into insurance. I wasn't aware, and it's a big thing. But I feel, again, podcasts like this and companies that want to do more social media, because that's how people find things out now. They Google it, they search for it on TikTok. Like that's how it is now. It's how it's going to go going forward. And like I said, because there's less retail banks, there is a big gap. So that's why I feel people that are doing protection or mortgage and protection advisors, they've got a massive opportunity now to help the clients that they've got already and future clients as well.
Yeah. And where do you get some of the leads from? So you've mentioned, obviously, existing client banks, social media. Have you linked into any other professionals at all? So if we think about other types of advisors, solicitors, accountants, have you done any of that?
Yeah, good question. So even yesterday, someone reached out to me. And again, that video that I did about business protection, they're a mortgage broking firm, and they just said, we've got clients that need business protection, but they don't have the time to do it. So again, that has helped. So potentially I can work with them to help their clients. I've got clients as well in different industries, and they always advertise my services as well. So it's a mix. I've got a couple of accountants, mortgage brokers. I've got a client who is a property trainer, property investor. Obviously everyone in the UK loves property, but they're not sure of the risks of it as well. So partnering with him is you'll be seeing more of that on social media. That's been quite big as well. And then the traditional networking events. And again, I feel every client that I speak to is really important. That's an advert for me in my business. If I do a good job, they'll refer me. So I think, to answer your question, if you're really good at your job, then you'll get the referrals organically. Everything else is a bonus. I would never rely just on social media or going out networking. It's going to be a combination of everything. But again, if I don't do a good job, I'm not going to get a referral. So yeah, and that all boils down to CPD and doing a good job and going above and beyond for the client as well. So like I said to you, once my client's live, I'll call them a week after just to see they've got the email or the paperwork. Are there any issues? Are they okay with it? Then I'll ring them 3 months after that, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, and then ongoing. It's not a case of they're a client and that's it. I want to make sure the relationship's still there. And when I do call the clients back again, things might have changed. So I've had one client where he's had a son. At the time when we did the application, he didn't want to do a trust. Then he's like, oh, you've reminded me to put the policy in trust for his son. So little things like that, because like you said before, people are busy and things change. Insurance is it's never going to be on the front of their mind. But when it is, making sure that they fully understand it, and I'm there to help them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a relationship then I'm hearing from that, isn't it? It's not just a transactional process.
Client care, it's just coming through. I remember from the first podcast that we did, we talked about social media. It was all about that, and that was all about the introduction, wasn't it? Getting them aware up front, a bit like we were talking about the video there. So you demonstrated the fact you phoned them after a week, and then the 3-month thing. Are there any other hints and tips that you could give advisors around that client care? Is there anything else that you do that we might not immediately think of?
Yeah, it could be a case of when I speak to clients, I tell them everything, but I always say, I'm not here to tell you, take all of it. Just do what's right for you, because it can be overwhelming, right? Even with the 5 business products we've explained, it might be too much at once. So whatever you're comfortable with now, Then later on, actually, you know what, the other product that you spoke about, we've got a new director, we definitely need shared agreement. It's expanded. We've got an amazing salesperson. We've got a developer, whatever that key person's role is. We need to protect that. So to people that are listening, they're not too sure what key person protection is. It's someone that's generates profit for a business, and it can be any position. It's not just the owners or the director. It could be your best salesperson. It could be someone in tech, whatever it is, where you feel if you lost that person to sickness, so critical illness, or to pass away, that's going to have a detrimental effect on the business. So that policy will basically give the company the cash injection, because working with Royal Bank of Scotland, you're seeing a lot of companies that are, they are good, they are profitable, but it's a cash flow issue or something's happened. Again, we all know from COVID how many businesses got wiped out. So just making clients aware that, this is there to safeguard and help you. We want your business to be around as long as possible. This will help you. And the majority of the products, relevant life, executive income protection, it's an allowable business expense as well. So I say to clients, you will expense your phone for the business, the car, internet, everything, but these products, they won't. And that's, again, trying to raise awareness to them that, look, this is here to help you and your business as well.
Yeah, definitely. So it's getting that buy-in, isn't it, right from the start? And what I'm hearing here, it's about educating people, but also showing them the benefit. It's not just an outgoing each month. Like, actually, this will benefit you, and that business is like a baby, isn't it? Especially if they set it up from scratch, it's valuable to them.
Linking it to real life as well, isn't it? I suppose, what they're there for. They might have an ultimate goal. That business might be a means to an end. It might be to get them to the retirement that they want and do the things that they want to do. So it's sounding like you're linking it to those real life scenarios. Yeah,
and I had a client, not a business one, last year, and we were talking about cars, and I was thinking of switching my car. I was like, "How much are you paying on your lease?" He said, £500 a month. I was like, "Look, I'll guarantee everything you're going to get is going to be less £500. I'll give you everything." He was like, "Okay, fine." It's just perception. If I went to everything one by one, he's, "Oh my God, it's really cheap." I'm like, "It is." It's just perception. They think insurance is £50 a month, and I don't know where they're getting that from. It depends on your situation, your age, your health. There's so many factors as well. But like you said, it's making sure the client understands it.
We spoke about this yesterday. I was doing a workshop actually for a group of advisors, and an advisor said exactly that. She uses comparisons. So actually, it's exactly what you've just said. She'll find something that customer spends money on, and then she'll say to them, "Well, actually, your insurance would be less than that." And then all of a sudden they're bought in because they think, well, actually, yeah, there's no point me spending money on a material thing and not protecting the money that actually allows me to have that material thing in the first place. If it makes sense.
That's a clever behavioural element, isn't it? Because it's helping the client to anchor to something that they know, something other. It could be something tangible or material as you like, but then putting it into perspective.
Yeah. And I've got a lot of property clients, investment properties, and some lenders will say you have to have buildings insurance or else you're not going to get the mortgage. So you paying that is helping the lender, right? You're covering them. Now you're live, you're still liable for that mortgage. So the life insurance is your equivalent of the buildings insurance, and it's getting them to understand that. So I tell clients, like, look, if you're driving a Ferrari, for example, I'm not saying don't drive it fast. I'm just saying put a seatbelt on. Like, that's it. That's all insurance is. Because if you drive, you have to pay car insurance and it's X amount. Like, certain clients is going to be way less than that. But it just makes sure that the client kind of puts that in perspective as well.
Just having analogies, relevant ones, isn't it, to their situation. So you have to think on your feet quite a lot, I suppose, when you're talking to people and relate it to their own situation.
Yeah, and I think it's a family planning tool as well. So with my clients, like, they understand what insurance is. They know why they're here. They get that. It's the bits afterwards of, have you had the conversation with your wife, your husband, your kids? Yes, no. It's going to take you more than one conversation to explain what this document is. I think we were talking about persistency rates before. I'll say to my clients, I want you to know how much that is every month, because then you'll see it and you'll know what it's for. Like, don't put it in the back of your sock drawer. Like, I want you to know what that is. And you think, oh, it's whatever it is, but it's doing this. It keeps a roof over my family's head if I'm not here. It gives them a monthly income with family income benefit to help the kids go to school, or the money for a deposit for property. Property's not going down in the UK. Like, it's only going to get more and more competitive. And this is a product that can help you your family if the worst was to happen, and it happens every day. So with your point about making it relatable, I'm going to plug this anyway. There's a TV show on ITVX called Riches, and it's
I've
about...
heard of this.
You heard of it, right? Have you seen it? You've seen it? Okay. I know, try not to really spoil this, but I binged. There's only 6 episodes, and it's about a African-British family in the UK who have a very big hair company that's worth millions. And the dad, who was the owner, passes away, and he has multiple children. And again, there's a life insurance policy, there's a will. It's making these things real. And I think they did a really good job of that, because everyone thinks they're entitled to something, and sometimes you're not. And if there isn't a plan in place, it's going to be very difficult and awkward. And every client I speak to where we touch on this, has someone passed away, yes, no, how was the situation? It's always awful. It's horrible, right? And the last thing you want to think about is money and bills. So that piece of paper, that will, the letter of wishes, it really helps. And again, that TV show makes what we're talking about real. There's millions of pounds on the line. There's different people. There's people from different countries, and they're trying to figure out what's going to happen with it. So if anyone needs to watch that to understand insurance more, Riches on ITVX online.
Plug that to all your clients.
Yep.
Watch this before you come and see me. You understand that.
I like the sock drawer analogy as well. Don't put it at the back of the sock drawer. That's
But people do
absolutely
it. I tell my clients, that folder, you're an adult. Yeah, it sucks being an adult. Adult bill, the adult folder, the life insurance, the trust, the will, everything, the details, lasting power of attorney, all those
We've all
things.
got one of those folders, don't we?
Yeah. And then it's renewing. Like I tell clients, look, like a business, every 3 to 4 years, just review it, because you have the option. If someone's annoyed, you take them off. Right? You have the, but I'm joking with that, but it makes clients think, actually, what, I've got another grandchild. This is things will change.
Their life does change, and you need, it's good that you're educating them that yes, we've put this in place, but it is adaptable, and you need to come keep seeing me. Because I think a lot of advisors are a bit nervous sometimes to do those regular reviews in case actually I'm reminding them of that direct debit. They might want to cancel it because money's tight now. So how do you position that well if you are calling that customer to remind them what they've got and the service that you provide?
I mean, sometimes that will happen where something in life has happened and it's another expense, and I'll just say, look, you obviously understand the importance of it. They're like, oh, I really want to keep it, but I can't force the client. If they're going to cancel it, they're going to cancel it. But it's fine that I'm aware of it. That's what I'm happy of, where if I have had that situation, a client will ring me beforehand just to let me know, which I think is great, because they don't have to do that. But I think, like you said before, sometimes life just gets in the way. They can't do it. It's unfortunate, but I say, once everything's sorted out, just come back, whenever you're ready. I'm still going to be here. So
That's amazing you've said that. I was at something yesterday, and there was a chap on the stage talking about what he does with existing clients, and he said exactly what you said there. It's sometimes it's not affordable, particularly in the crisis we've got at the moment, but I'm here when you need me. If the situation changes or you want to revisit, I'm here. And it's just that client care, as you mentioned before.
And like I said, bro, with social media, I had a client last week. He was supposed to go forward with critical illness, and in the last second he thought, oh, it's too expensive, and said no. So he emailed me when I was on holiday, and I just said, look, I'll ring you when I get back from holiday. And the first question I said is, why now? Why have you come back? What is it? And I know what it is. Well, my best friend had cancer. Right. So it's a timing thing. Okay, that's fine. And I said, you're a little bit older, you've got a medical condition, it's going to be more expensive than last time. Yeah, I don't care.
He's had a real life situation.
Yeah. So with your point, I feel if you do a good job anyway, sometimes it's just timing. People they're not ready, and you can't, with this product, you can't force it. I think people try and do that, but I don't see the point in that. People will come when they're ready, and it's the real life experience. They see the value in it now. If he'd taken that before, he might not have seen the value in it. Now he definitely sees the value in it.
I was just thinking as well, taking it back to where you've got advisors. I might be an advisor now, I might not have the experience in the corporate investment like you mentioned before, not that confidence around dealing with PGs and stuff. When you're looking at taking on CPD, all that learning you talked about, that positive sort of education for yourself, at what point do you get to that tipping point where you just have to jump in and take a leap of faith?
I think everyone's different. It depends. Some people will jump. That's how they are. They'll just figure it out. Whatever you feel comfortable with. So for me, I'll try and do 2 hours learning before the day starts. I'll do 7 till 9. Like for me, I want to have that edge that, you know, people are asleep and I'm ahead. So I'll do that. That's 10 hours a week. That's 40 a month that I'm ahead in. All those hours that you do, like with the basketball, tennis, golf analogy, you've got to put the hours in. And the more hours you put in, the more confident you're going to be, the more credible, the more knowledgeable. Like clients know that. I've had clients where we've done it, they've gone cold and they've come back. And my first question is, why have you come back? You spoke to another broker. He wasn't as good as you. Okay, fine. And the thing is, with those clients that come back, I know they're not cancelling.
Yeah.
I know they're not going to cancel.
That's persistent then, isn't it?
Yeah. They've come back of their own free will. I've not contacted them. They've come back. They tried to go elsewhere. They weren't happy with the service and they've come back. So.
Yeah. It's almost like we've heard advisors mention before on this podcast, it's finding the right fit of client and be actually having a lot of self-worth as an advisor that actually I am good at what I do. So if you don't want that service, that's okay. Because I will find clients who do want my service and they do enjoy, coming in and getting the most out of the
it's
service I offer.
Treating what you do as a scarce resource that people want, and you're demonstrating that in that question that you asked when they've come back to you, which is great.
Yeah, I think it's perception. Like, this is a profession. People don't view insurance as a profession. When I was doing investment banking, everyone wants to hear about it. Everyone wants to hear about New York, trading, being on Wall Street after work. When I was working for HSBC, I went to HSBC to see my friend. I'm speaking to all the global heads on night out. What's going on? Like, that's interesting, but insurance isn't. So I feel my position is to make it more professional, more credible, and also respected. That we should be respected. Like mortgages, I'm not here to slag people or whatever, but if it's a mortgage broker, everyone's got time for that. It's fine. They're going to pay a proc fee, £500 percentage. They've got no issue doing that every 18 months. But for us, no one does. And I'm like, we need to fix that. And this whole purpose of this podcast is there to change people's perceptions. And the more people that, have, the confidence and are good at what they do, it's going to change the industry. But I just feel from a financial perspective, we're at the bottom of the food chain. And again, like, I'm here to try and shine a light on it. Like, no, this is positive. Like, even on my WhatsApp status, everyone knows what I do. In time, they will come when they're ready. But I feel, protection insurance, it has to go up in people's estimations. It has to be more professional, and the people doing it have to take it more seriously. It is a profession. You have to put the hours in. That's what I think, basically.
It sounds, it's knowing your value, isn't it? As you're saying, and on what you bring to the wider thought-provoking piece and overall protection subject in the financial advice arena, and bring everyone along with what you're doing with the social media at the moment and the other podcasts you've been involved in.
Yeah, it definitely helps. So when clients come now, it's like, you see all the awards, right? Yeah, like, you don't waste my time as a joke, but it helps. It
you
helps.
can get away with that, can't
Get
you?
away with it. I was like, any other advisors got 10 awards for the whole year.
Yeah.
Different providers. Okay. Right. They take me, and which is, like, I want to take it seriously. Like, they're gonna. I was like, you can go to any supermarket, but they can tell you how to do a trust. Is it set up correctly? Right.
And that's a huge element.
The credibility when the client gets that. And like I said, I've given examples where clients have gone elsewhere and they've come back. But you're right, it is a profession. I do take my job seriously. I do put in an extremely amount of long, hard hours, but it's worth it, because when a client speaks to me, I want to give them the best advice and be confident with it. And even if I don't know the answer, I will speak to a BDM. It will, we'll fix it as well. And I think from last time, just underwriting, I feel now that I know so much more about pharmacy and medicine. It's unreal. I probably spend more of my day speaking to underwriters and understanding things than the actual insurance bit. But that stuff is important, because for an advisor that's watching, if you do have a medical issue, well, who can I place it with? Because if you don't know, you're going to spend hours on hold. So you need to know that, which is, again, CPD, knowing what the underwriting limits are, what's it for, and where to place it. And again, that's just putting the hours in with CPD.
And we spoke about it before, Consumer Duty, obviously coming down the track this year, some key deadlines coming up. Certainly trust element, we talk about avoiding foreseeable harm, making sure customers have got good outcomes. It lends itself, doesn't it? It seems like you're immersing yourself in the wider protection process as well as just the product knowledge.
Yeah, and like I said, I take this profession really, really seriously. And I think clients see that. So when they ring me like, oh my God, I see you everywhere, I'm like, there's a reason why you see me everywhere. Like, it's effort going to the networking events and doing all these different things. But the clients respect it. you know, and that they're happy with that. So it's all come full circle really from where it was a year ago.
Yeah. Oh, great. And we've seen a huge progression even in the last six months, really, from when we sat down first of all to now. I mean, you've managed to, as you said, remember sitting 6 months ago, you said, right, I want to, into 2023, be successful with business protection. And that's exactly why we wanted you back on, to hear that was going. And it's great to see you continuously growing and continuously using that CPD in time to kind of better your own business and better yourself, but ultimately bettering what the clients get as well, because you're now able to offer a full suite of products, which is amazing to hear. So thank you for coming back in and sharing that with us.
No, thank you for having me.
Amazing how you've been able to show, this is what I'm going to do, and just see you do it. Go out there and do it. Which is why I asked the question around, that leap of faith. You've educated yourself and away you went, and brilliant stuff. And thanks so much for coming on.
And anyone that's watching, business protection, it's not scary. Like, it's not just do the CPD, put the hours in, and then you'll get there. And if anyone is just starting out, I would say Relevant Life is probably the easiest quick win. It's not complicated. It's just putting the limited company paying the policy, not the person, and it's an allowable business expense. So accountants will be happy to hear that. And I was also executive IP as well, private sick pay. So I would say those two. When you get into key person, that may get a little bit complicated. As well, so I would say stick to Relevant Life and Exec IP if you want to start with it.
And you should lean into the BDMs. That's what we're here for, isn't it? Our team are always on hand, and likewise we run these webinars once a month that you've been on. People can drop in and learn about those products any time they wish.
Oh,
so
a quick one as well. I want to give a massive thank you to Jake Davenport, who was my BDM, who's got promoted, and rightfully so. I hope he got a pay rise as well. But yeah, Jake Davenport was really helpful for me. Amazing. So again, because I've got a good BDM, he's helped me. He's done all my CPD. I've grown. He's got promoted. He's grown. I'm happy for him. So yeah.
Great.
Thank you for that feedback.
You. He'll love that.
Yeah,
that's really kind. But yeah, thank you so much, Adrian. Really appreciate it, and can't wait to see how it grows even further for you.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Can't wait till next time.
Thank you.
Thanks.